Oof, an awful MAGA Mike Johnson meltdown this morning, part of his morning humiliation rituals where he lies to the American people about the Trump and MAGA Mike government shutdown. Today, he kind of repeated over and over again a mantra. He's like, I want to be a happy warrior. I'm a happy warrior. I'm a happy warrior, MAGA Mike. And Senator John Thune, he's a happy man too, but you're making us very angry. I want to be happy, MAGA Mike. Here, play this clip.
Voting today on the CR, so SNAP benefits are going to lapse. They're not taking that vote today.
Well, Leader Thune was pretty upset yesterday. We've all seen the video. Mad John on the floor, and it's appropriate. When we come in here and do these briefings, I can empathize with them because we're happy warriors. I like to come in and have a good time in press conferences and tell you good news and all of that. But this.
Yeah, I mean, look, MAGA Mike, we don't care about you as a happy warrior or you upset. What we care about is the American people who you are starving. 42 million Americans are going to lose their supplemental nutrition assistance program benefits. And there's a contingency fund that's precisely for this purpose. And you're lying about it and saying that they can't access it because Trump's plan is to literally starve Americans to death. At least Marie Antoinette said, let them eat cake. Donald Trump said, let them starve while I destroy the East Wing of the White House. I mean, here you've got MAGA Mike asks, so during the last Trump shutdown, Trump's kind of known for bankruptcies and shutdowns. During the last shutdown in 2019, this wasn't an issue. There was a contingency fund in SNAP, and of course it was accessible. So why are you taking a different approach this time? MAGA Mike opens his mouth and lies. Let's watch it.
So we'll take a few questions. Yes, sir.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. During the last shutdown in 2019, it was the first Trump administration, and they made sure that in the second month of the shutdown, SNAP benefits would go out. They had them sent early. Why do you think they shouldn't do that this time?
Well, the president, this administration has done exactly what he did in the first term, and that is bend over backwards to make sure that we mitigate the harm. We explained here yesterday that any administration in a shutdown scenario has figuratively a control panel of pain dials. In the Obama administration, 2013, when they shut it down, they turned all the dials to 10. They wanted it to hurt.
Oh, it's Obama's fault. You didn't really answer the question. You didn't answer the question because there's literally a bank account. It's called a contingency fund, and it could be absolutely used to make sure Americans get SNAP. But y'all care more about giving $40 billion to Argentina in a bailout. That's or Donald Trump golfing again over the weekend. Then he says, this is what he says. He goes, the Democrats do not get to shut down the government and then make the decision of who is more important. Here, just watch this last clip.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you be willing to fund part of the government for the full year, as some of the senators are discussing, without a CR to open them?
These rifle shot bills that you keep hearing about deviates from the goal. We have one singular purpose, and that is to reopen and fund the entire government.
Rifle shot? Rifle shot? You mean making sure that people can access SNAP? Rifle shot? You mean people can afford their health care and you can extend the Affordable Care Act? Except that's a rifle shot? What words are what is he even saying? Like, what are we even watching there? I want to bring in Democratic Congress member from California, John Garamendi. Congress member, it's great to see you. You know, you see MAGA Mike and the Republicans that he's flanked by do this each and every morning as they lie to the American people. But as you see in your congressional district and across the country, I think Americans see what's going on right now. What do you see? What's happening?
Well, Americans see a world of hurt in their own home, in their jobs. They see a government that is just not functioning correctly. They see a president that is off to Asia with all of his deals, most of which are just shams, and then coming home and forgetting about the American people. There's a world of hurt out there. Certainly the food issue is right front and center, and you're absolutely correct. There is a solution to it. The money is there. The money can and should be spent to continue the supplemental food programs. But no, they don't want to do that because they want to use the shutdown to gain total control of the budget, of the appropriation process, which they're basically well on the way to doing. The bottom line of this is that we simply have to push back. And in fact, we're doing so. And we will continue to do so. Mike Johnson Yeah, he's a nice guy, but he is way, way out of his depth. He definitely does not have the wherewithal to be the Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House is an independent leader of the House of Representatives, 435 of us. And it's his job to push forward legislation that he likes, or at least have a session. It's been, 5 weeks now? He has essentially dissolved the House of Representatives. We don't exist anymore. We cannot do anything until he finds the courage to tell Trump, I got to bring these guys back, and we're going to start legislating once again. Until he does that, the House of Representatives cannot do anything. We cannot swear in a new member. She's been waiting a month and a half to get sworn in. So there's many, many issues out there that we simply have to get at. And unfortunately, Mike Johnson is the president's puppet. The president says, don't do anything. We're going to win this thing by doing nothing. And that's exactly where we are.
Now, you've seen government from a lot of different angles. You were a member of the California State Assembly back in 1974, California Senate 1976, United States Deputy Secretary of the Interior 1995, Insurance Commissioner of California 2003 to 2007, Lieutenant Governor of California 2007 to 2009, Member of Congress 2009 to the President. But who's counting Congress member? But the point I'm making is not to just go through your entire resume, but you've been in a lot of positions in government, and I at least remember Schoolhouse Rocks, fifth grade, the government classes. You can have strong disagreements with the other side, but you roll up your sleeves, big boys, big girls. We talk with each other. We try to resolve the issues because we're all Americans and we solve the problem. I mean, to me, what we're seeing with MAGA Mike Johnson and this current iteration of the Republican Party that's MAGA is they say, we're not even talking, yet alone negotiating. We don't even view the other side as existing. They are actually not a political adversary, but they are domestic terrorists and enemies who need to be eradicated. And to me, as I go through your background, give us a historical perspective, if you will, because to me, this is a very different and deeply troubling situation that is a uniquely Trumpian view that feels a lot more like Putin than what we've ever seen here in the United States.
Well, let's start this with Trump's own words, that he intended to be a dictator on day one in his presidency. And he was, and he is today. He wants total power. He has no use for the Congress, for the Senate. He simply is going to do what he wants to do, regardless of the laws, regardless of the Constitution. And he has done that thus far. He moves money anywhere he wants to move it. He'll take $40 billion from God, we don't know where, somewhere in the federal treasury, takes $40 billion and hands it over to his buddy down in Argentina. And as you said earlier, he's unwilling to provide even $1 billion to feed Americans. Strange as it is, Trump is an authoritarian in his heart, in his mind. He's an authoritarian, and he, as president, wants to do everything he can. Now, I've worked with 6 governors, Republican and Democrats, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jerry Brown, about as different as you could possibly be. But we always look to find some solution along the way. I worked with Bill Clinton, and he put together in the last 2 years of his administration, a budget plan that actually created a surplus, honest to God, a surplus for the national program. And had it continued, it would have been a major problem because we would have paid off all of Americans' debts within a decade. But that didn't happen. Bush came in and reversed that with massive tax cuts, once again for the wealthy. And so down through the years that I've been in this, and it's been 52 years now that I've been in public policy, appointed and elected, and I've never, ever seen anything quite like this. I've never seen a legislature in California or in Washington simply become a tool to be used by the president and taking instructions from the president, not being the third independent branch of government. And that is a very, very serious problem because, the founding fathers knew that if you give total power to an organization or to an individual, bad things would happen. And that's certainly been the case with Trump. Trump has assumed total power because the Congress of the United States is absent. We are essentially dissolved. We don't exist. Go back to history. Take a look at the 1930s. Hitler was selected by the Reichstag, that is the German parliament, to become chancellor. Within a very short period of time, the Reichstag burned to the ground, and it was never rebuilt and never restarted. Hitler, therefore, had total power because the legislative branch of the German government simply disappeared. We are 5 months into disappearing as the Congress of the United States. And for Mike Johnson, wait a minute, fella. You have a very, very important function. You are the leader of the third branch of government, the Congress of the United States, the People's House. Get with it. Bring us back. Take the heat. And there will be heat. There'll be controversy. But that's your job, and that's our job also. So the reality is we are in a very, very dangerous place in the history, the ongoing history of the United States, with an individual, Donald Trump, who believes that he has ultimate power and authority. And, as he said, he is a dictator. We have to have a Congress that's willing to push back.
And finally, you mentioned these fake deals, these scam deals that Donald Trump goes and announces. I mean, first he'll talk about he's brought in $22 trillion, which we know he didn't bring in $22 trillion. All of it's just a total lie. He'll say $1.1 trillion from Qatar. And we know like Qatar's GDP is $144 billion. But then he'll do something like he just did with China. They'll say, we've made a deal to bring back soybeans. And then you look at it and you go, well, under former President Biden, China committed to buying more soybeans than under your purported current agreement with Xi Jinping that was just made. So you're telling me you went to South Korea, met with him, created the problem, basically bankrupted a ton of our soybean farmers. Then the deal that you did was for them to get less of an export market than they had under Biden. And then you spiked the football. You didn't even solve your problem. You put a little Band-Aid on it. And then you call that a deal. And then they push it through their media propaganda network. It's like, he did a deal. I'm like, he didn't. That wasn't a deal. Like, that wasn't at all. And, from your vantage point, though, and what I think about it is it reminds me of like Bernie Madoff, like the same way a Ponzi schemer will tell people, your returns are huge. It's all going to be great. It's vicious because while people are starving, he keeps telling them, I'm going to give you dividend checks. I'm going to give you rebate checks. It's all coming from this secret money that I have, and it doesn't exist, and it's never there. He drags it out. Then he dumps the problem on the next person, and then the arsonist blames the firefighter. I want to give you the final word to contextualize that.
Well, you're absolutely right. Trump fancies himself a deal maker. However, many of the deals that he made were bankrupt deals. And he has put together a series of bankrupt deals. They're non-deals. He goes down $40 billion for Argentina, the result of which is Argentina then turns around and sells their soybeans and beef to China. So we try to make up with that. So he's going to send a few cows to America to somehow balance it. And it just doesn't work. There is no strategy. There is no real plan about how to make America great again. It's not just one deal after another. Most of these deals are just not substantive. They're not long lasting. Yes, rare earth. China says, we'll give you rare earth for 1 year if you are a good boy. But if you misbehave, you will not have rare earth minerals in the second year. So China continues to have the leverage over the United States. And by the way, I've authored legislation in the last 3 NDAAs to use the Defense Production Act to build in America the production facilities to not only mine, but also to refine rare earth. Trump has totally ignored that. It's available to him. The money is there. If you want to spend money, let's build our own rare earth refining programs here in the United States so we can tell China, just go stuff it. We don't care. You don't have leverage over us anymore. But right now, all that Trump has managed to do is to give China continued leverage over the United States, and Xi Jinping certainly used that. If you look at the negotiations, there was a winner. It was China. And there was a loser. It's Trump and America. Trump went into that as a loser, and he came out of it as even a bigger loser. The fact of the matter is that China dominated that discussion. We don't know what the rest of the deals were. He bounced around Asia with 4 different countries, coming out with an announcement, oh my goodness, look at the good work I did. Show me the details. Show me exactly what you have accomplished here, both in the short term and the long term. I suspect that in the short term, it's not much. In the long term, it is just a bunch of vapor in the sky.
Right. Especially you see he picks up his golden crowns in South Korea, the fake golden crown. And meanwhile, Japan's Prime Minister Takaishi, while she leads him, around the room, she doesn't agree to the one request he had, which was apparently you got to buy less LNG from China, and she's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Like, so the whole thing is humiliating. Anyway, Congress member, you and I could get into a much more deeper international affairs discussion, and we should. We'd love to have you back. We appreciate you this morning. As always, thanks for everything that you've done, your career and now especially.
Carry on. Thank you.
Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.